MA089, Chapter 6.4, Translating Sentences into English, into equations. Alright, the sentence means there's a subject, right? Subject and verb, followed by verb and followed by objectives or complement. So in this case, always, usually the verb contains one of these words. So if the verb contains is something like this, then replace the verb with equal sign. So the subject will be the expression, mathematical expression on the left side of the equation, because the verb will be the equation, and the objectives will be the right side of the equation. So if the verb is equals, is, represents, amounts to, totals, is equal to, is the same as, then replace this verb with equal sign. Alright, so let's try an example. Okay, translate. 5 more than 4 numbers. 4 times a number is. Here it is, right? Is. So replace this is with what? Equal sign. So everything on the left hand side. So the left hand side is 5 less than 4 times a number will be the left hand side of the equation. This is the subject, and is will be equal sign, and the right side of the equation will be this part, 4 more than the number, right? This will be the expression for the right side of the equation. Alright, then let's change this phrase into mathematical expression. We already know this part, right? Okay, A less than B. What is the expression for A less than B? What is this equation? What's this expression? Is it A minus B or B minus A? This is B minus A. This is important. Don't forget this. If there is a less than or more than, then write the second part first. Alright, so the equation on the left hand side is 5 less than something, right? 5 less than something. This second part is what? 4 times a number. So in this case, a number, we don't know that number, so why don't we write this number as x? Variable x. Or let's make it n, variable n. So it will be 4 times n. 4 times a number means 4 times n, right? 4 times n. And then 5 less than this number, so minus 5. So this one should be equal to what? 4 more than the number. So the number is what? This number is the number on the left. So this will be the expression of variable n. 4 more than the number. So write the number first and then plus 4. Make sense? So less than, more than, write the second part first. Alright, so here is the equation. Let me write the equation here. And then let's solve for n. Let's find n. So from here, what do we do? What we do is let's move the n on the right hand side to the left. That means this is positive n, so what we do is minus n each side, right? Minus n each side. Then this 2 will become 3n, right? 3n. 4 minus 1 is 3. So 3n minus 5 equals, this will be what? Of course 0, of course 0. So that is, the right hand side is 4. The left hand side of the equation is 3n minus 5. So let's leave 3n on one side and move this minus 5 to the right. So what we need to do is plus 5 each side to make this one 0, right? 0, to make it 0. So we have 3n on one side, the right hand side is 9. And then what do we do next? To find n, we need to divide each side by the coefficient 3, because 1 is in the numerator, the same number is in the denominator. So these 3 cancel out. So n is equal to 3. So the number is 3. The number is 3. So 3 is the answer for this one. Okay. So whenever there is a verb, then if the verb is one of these, equals, is equal to, is the same as, then replace the verb with equal sign. And the expression on the left hand side, the subject will be the left side of the equation, and then the phrase on the right side will be the expression for on the right side of the equation. And if there's an unknown number, like 4 times a number, then make this one what? A variable. Make this variable n, right? N. Okay, then let's try another example. Okay, for this example, the sum of two numbers is 9. Okay, sum of two numbers is 9, so we don't know what those numbers are. So one is smaller number, one is the larger number. So 8 times the smaller number is 5 less than 3 times the larger number. So let's say x is the smaller number and y is the larger number. Okay, x is the smaller number, right? Smaller number. And y is the larger number. Okay, then the first sentence shows that the sum of two numbers. So there are two numbers, x and y. So you can write it something like this: x plus y is, right? Is should be replaced by what? Equal sign, right? Equal sign. So x plus y should be equal to 9. So we have one equation. All right. Okay, and then the second sentence is 8 times the smaller number. 8 times the smaller number. So we know the smaller number is what? X, right? X. Is means equal sign. Is equal to 5 less than 3 times the larger number. So what's the larger number? That is y, right? Y. So for the second sentence, we can write it like this: 8 times the smaller number is. So 8 times the smaller number x is replaced with the equal sign. 5 less than. Remember, less than or more than. Then we're gonna write the right hand side first. So 3 times the larger number minus 5, right? So 3 times the larger number, which is y. And then 5 less than, so minus 5. So we have two equations. And after this, we will find the numbers. All right. In this case, you can do it this way. There are two equations with two variables, x and y. So from here, why don't we rewrite the first equation so that you have x on one side and others on the right hand side. So 9 minus y. Can you see it? So rewrite it. So I'm going to rewrite it. So I'm going to move y. I'm going to move y to the right hand side. So what I will do is minus 9 each side. Okay, minus 9 each side, so that we have only one variable on one side. X is equal to sorry, not minus 9, minus y, sorry, minus y, because I want to move this y to the other side. Minus y each side. So the left hand side is only x, and then the right hand side is this. So x will be 9 minus y. And then what do we do next? Plug it in here. Okay, so we have two equations. One is this, the second equation is this. So I'm going to replace this x with the expression in terms of y. Alright, so that is 8 times x is what? 9 minus y, right? And then this is 3y minus 5. Okay, so this is a little bit confused because there are two variables and two equations. So if we have something like this, then replace one of these x or y, one of the variables x and y, so that this equation will have only one variable. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to replace this x in terms of y. So you got this x from the first equation. So rewrite the first equation so that it looks like x equals something. Okay, x equals something, then replace this something with x in the other equation. All right, then use the distribution property. So 8 times 9. 8 times 9 is 72 minus 8 times y is 8y. Then the right hand side is 3y minus 5. So this equation contains both variable terms in each side. So let's collect all the variable terms to the left. So why don't we just minus 3y each side, so that you can move it. Minus 3y each side, so that you can make this one 0, right? 0. You can make this 0. Then 72 minus 11y equals negative 5. Okay, let's try another one. Now 11y is on the left hand side, so why don't we move 72 to the right? So minus 72 each side. Minus 72, because this is plus 72, right? Then this will become 0. So we have only negative 11y on the left side. The right side is negative 82. Sorry, 77, sorry. That is 77. All right, and from this equation, let's find the value of y by dividing the equation by what? Each side of the equation by the same coefficient, negative 11. Negative 11. Then y equals positive 7, right? Positive 7. So you got the larger value. The larger value is 7. Then what's the smaller value? Smaller value is this one, right? X equals 9 minus 5. 9 minus y, right? So let's bring it down so that y is what? Y is, sorry, x is equal to 9 minus y, right? 9 minus y. 9 minus y. So why don't we plug in this 7 for y to get x? Right? 9 minus 7, then x equals 2. So there are two numbers. So therefore, this means therefore, the two numbers are what? Numbers are 2 and 7. Okay. So in this particular question, there are two sentences that makes two equations. And these two equations have two variables. So in this case, what we do is from one equation, rewrite the equation so that you have only one variable, x or y on one side and others are on the other side. And from the second equation, replace x or y that you got from the first equation. So in this case, I replace this x with 9 minus y so that the second equation has only one variable, y. And then simplify. And then find the value of y. Once you find the value of y, and then plug it into the other equations so that you get the value of the other variable. Okay, let's try another example. Okay, this example is there is a 20-foot long board. So the length of this board is 20 foot, and this is cut into two pieces. So one is a shorter piece, shorter, and the other one is longer. All right, then since we don't know the length of this, let's make the length of the shorter piece is x feet. Then what is the length of this larger piece? it should be the total minus x, isn't it? Okay, so that will be the total minus x. So the total is 20. So this will be 20 minus x feet, right? X feet. All right, so this equation, so this one, from this one, we can write it something like this, x feet and 20 minus x feet. Okay, for the second sentence, okay, 5 times the length of the shorter piece is, here is, so this will be an equal sign, right? So this left hand side should be equal to this right hand side, right? Right hand side. So the left hand side is 5 times the length of the shorter piece. So write it here, 5 times the length of the shorter piece, which is x foot. So that should be equal to 2 more than, do you remember more than? Then what do we do? Write the second expression first. So the second expression is, okay, write that the shorter, okay, here's the shorter piece is x, right? Shorter piece is x. How about the longer piece? Twice the length of the longer piece. This is 20 minus x, the longer piece. So twice the length of the longer piece means 2 times the longer piece is, the length is this one. And then 2 feet more than, so plus 2, right? So this is the equation. And from this equation, find the length of each side. So we need to find the length of the shorter piece, which is x. Then once we find it, then we can find the length of the larger piece, which is 20 minus x. So let's solve this equation. So can you see how we set up the equation? Okay, from the first equation, that is the shorter piece plus the larger piece, then the length will be 20 feet, right? 20 feet. So if the shorter piece, length of the shorter piece is x, then the larger piece is 20 minus x. From the second equation, use the length of the shorter piece and the larger piece, longer piece, write an equation. So 5 times the length of the shorter piece, so 5x is, means equal sign, 2 feet more than something, so something plus 2. And this something is twice the length of the longer piece. So 2 times the length of the longer piece, which is 20 minus x. So let's solve it. So the left hand side is 5x, the right hand side is what? Distribute. So 2 times 20 is 40 minus 2x plus 2. And then simplify the right hand side because we have 2 constant terms, right? So 40 plus 2 is 42 and minus 2x. All right, so x terms are separated. So why don't we move minus 2x to the left by what? Adding 2x to each side. So this is minus 2x, so add 2x, then these two will become 0, right? 0. So we have 7x is equal to 42. Then from here, 7x is 42, right? So divide each side by what? 7, because this is 7 times x, 7 times x. So if we have a 7 in the denominator, we can cancel out this x, so that 7, so that x is equal to 6. So x is the length of the shorter piece, right? Shorter piece. This is the shorter piece. Then what's the longer piece? The longer piece is 20 minus x, isn't it? 20 minus x. So 20 minus x is the longer piece. Length of the longer piece. So that is equal to 20 minus 6, right? So plug in this 6 for x. And this is equal to 14 feet. Right? So the longer piece is 14 feet. the shorter piece is 6 feet. Okay. This one looks, this is not complicated, right? So there are two sentences. The first sentence, from the sentence we can write the shorter length of the shorter piece and the longer piece. And from the second equation we can write the equation. And then once you find value of one variable, then find the value of the other variable. Okay, that's it for this section. Please study, review the problem numbers, those problems in the exercise in this section.